Let's go. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Make sure the link is still there. Yes, the link is there. All right, all right, all right. All right, we got news coming up in 4 minutes. News coming up in 4 minutes. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go. Can you guys hear me loud and clear? Loud and clear. We got news and 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Dollar is in the zone. All right, let me see. Let me see. See if I can mark this up real quick. Okay. Dollar's in the zone right here. Dollar's in that area. Drop down to my low. I need to see that rejection area. Okay. This is my zone. Rejection, rejection. I do have another area right down below. See if the dollar could come back to this zone also. But if they don't come back to that area, okay. All right. We got about a few seconds. Few seconds. All right. A few seconds. That's not a break. That's not a break. Okay. All right. Will we see the dollar get stronger, drop, and then continue to get stronger? Go over to my gold real quick. Gold. Ooh, come on, gold. Come on, come on, come on. I might miss this one. I might miss this one. Can we see that thing continue to drop? Is that going to be a continuation of the drop? A few more seconds. Let's see. Is it going to hold this level or fold this level? Is it going to continue to drop? Or will we push up? News is coming right about now. Nothing. Nothing. Okay. Okay. Nice shift up. I had a little delay on my system. Nice shift up. I don't know why I had a delay. Right at the zone. Can we get that reaction? Can they hold that level? Can they hold that level right there? Can we get them to hold that level? I'm not sure why I'm having delays. Okay. Can we hold that zone? All right. Can we hold that level right there? Give me that reaction. Mm. I have to go over here real quick. All right. Gold. Okay. Boom. Okay. Nice reaction. Nice reaction. Nice reaction. Why did they come back up this high? We had a break right there. Okay. I see why they came back up to the level up here. Nice reaction off of that zone. Now, gold, if you're going to hold this level, all right, if we're going to enter this thing, for those who didn't see this opportunity right here, okay, we're going to see if gold is, I like this reaction right there, but now this is the starting point right here that pushed them higher. This is the starting point that pushed them higher. Okay. Oh, nice reaction. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful reaction, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. There's a lot going on right now. A lot going on. A lot happening right now. Okay. We in our zone, our element. Nice reaction. Nice reaction. Nice reaction, ladies. Oh, man. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Sorry about that. Oh, man. Oh, sorry about that. I forgot using this platform. I gotta switch screens. Oh, okay, okay. Nice reaction off of that level. Okay. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. You needed to witness this with me. You needed to witness this with me. Oh man. Okay. Yes. So, all right. Yes, yes. I do apologize. I'm still getting used to this screen. When I switch, I have to switch screens up there. But here's what happened. Okay. Here's what happened. Nice reaction. It did exactly what we wanted it to do. Like if I go back over here to Lux, I was just wondering, I thought it was just delayed on my side, but it was just the news that was delayed. So we had this area right here. We had this area. Yes or no, ladies and gentlemen? Is that a breaker structure? Is that a breaker structure? That's what we wanted, right? This is a break of structure. Yes, it is, right? So, because that's a break of structure, is this a starting point right in that zone? Boom. So, that market came up there, nice wickery. Okay, nice wickery in that area. A cool 43 pips. Not bad. We are in our zone. This is what I love, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we are in our zone. Beautiful stuff right there. Beautiful stuff. Okay, good job. But now, the starting point. Where is the starting point that pushed us into that level? It's right here. It's right there. This is the starting point. Now, for anyone who did not get this opportunity right here, well, what needs to happen is we need the market to do this, close below. Okay, close below. I love what I'm witnessing right now. We know there's a lot of news going on right now. And honestly, we shouldn't be trading news, but hey, this is what we do. It's good to trade news when you got the blueprint. Okay? It's good to play. Did the news do exactly what the blueprint said it was supposed to do? Yes or no? That's all we want to know. Did the news do exactly what the blueprint said the market was supposed to do? Okay? So when we look at the blueprint, and this is not even today's topic of discussion. Okay? B.O.S. and starting point. I don't want to rush it because I want us to stay on topic. Okay? Because we have a course that we are creating live. But when you look at this, the Bears continuation. This is the move. break a structure down, come back up to the zone, retest, and drop. But it gave us a wick, right? It did exactly what it was supposed to do. So with the news out of the way, okay, we got time to make some money, ladies and gentlemen. We got time, but I want us to stay on topic with the blueprint. Okay. Want us to stay on topic with that blueprint. Wow. Look how the dollar is pulling back just as we figured. Look how the dollar is pulling back just as we figured it was supposed to do. Wow. Oh, you got to be kidding me. You got to be kidding me. The dollar almost came right to our zone. Right to our zone. This is what I live for, ladies and gentlemen. This is the type of excitement that I love when it comes to opening up the charts. Look at this. Nice wick to the downside. Now I got to ask myself, why didn't it come to our level? Okay? Why didn't the market come to our level? Why did it come down to this level here and shift up? Okay? But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to the topic of discussion. Actually, no, we're actually on topic because today's blueprint, day number three is the B.O.S and the change of direction. So we're actually on topic today. The B.O.S is and the change of direction, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and get started in this right now. This week we spoke about this week we spoke about what was the topics that we spoke about this week? Okay. We looked at the trend. Okay. The trend was day number 1. All right. That's what we spoke about on day number 1 was identifying the trend. The market rising up, the market pulling back. And on day number 1, we spoke about creating 2 points of contact. Okay? 2 points of contact to identify the trend. 1 and 2. Okay? 2 points of contact. That was day number 1. And you draw your trend line from the first support to the second support. Okay? When the market creates a new high, now you have a trend. When the market creates a new high, now you have a trend. Break a structure. B.O.S. Okay? That was day number 1. Let's put over here, day number 1. Day number 2, we spoke about higher high, higher low, the DNA of the market. Okay? Day number 2. The market DNA. So the market DNA, even when looking at the higher highs, we spoke about as the market is rising up, pulling back. Here's a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Okay. The DNA. So now that market is either going to create a short form M, okay, where it starts to reject here, or it's either going to create a double top where it rejects here. Okay. Or it creates a extended high and change direction. Extended high and change direction. Okay. Perfect. So on day number 2, we had the low. We had a higher high, higher low, and then the DNA created the higher high. Okay. The DNA created the higher high. So now, okay, and then over here we had this higher low right in this area. We identified the reversal. This is the DNA from an uptrend to a downtrend. Okay. The DNA from an uptrend to a downtrend when the market drops down. So that was day number 2. Now, here on day number 3, we are covering, okay, day number 3, which is the change of direction and the break of structure. Okay. So basically, all of this that you're learning, it's all the same in the same area. But when you piece it all together, what do we have? The market rises up, the market pulls back right in this area. This zone here is known as your resistance level until broken. Once the market breaks this level, okay, once the market breaks the level, okay, uh, the next thing that you want to do is you want to creates a B.O.S, break of structure. Okay, it creates a break of structure. All right, perfect. There we go. All right. All right, give me 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we got some late comers joining again. Okay. Can someone send me a text of this link right here for the call? Send it to me in a text, please, Shani. In a text. The link for this call from YouTube. Thank you. Okay. All right. So now we got the breaker structure right in this area. What happens after the breaker structure? We can see that the market is in an uptrend. We spoke about this briefly yesterday, but identifying the breaker structure and seeing the we got the breaker structure and seeing the change of direction, it's really going to help us understand how to enter these trades. Okay. Perfect. So now, thank you, Shani. All right. So we have the starting point in this zone here. Okay. This is the start of the move. Start of the move that pushes the market higher. Now, once we get that breaker structure, this is very important. You have to identify the area where you're looking to buy at. Where am I looking to buy? Because what I noticed, let me get back into the rhythm now. Okay. Get back into the rhythm. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, once we get that break of structure, we have to say to ourselves, okay, the market just broke the zone. Where does it want to come back to? The market just broke the zone. Where does it want to come back to? Where is that point of interest that I'm most excited about buying? Think about it like this. Okay. Imagine if you went to your favorite, you want this brand new car, but when you got to the dealership, the car was super expensive. And the dealer said, well, we're going to be getting some brand new cars coming in a couple months. And that's when we make these new cars are going to become our used cars. We're going to lower the price. Okay. So now you're saying to yourself, oh, okay, I'll just wait. I'll just wait for a couple months. And when the market comes back to that zone, maybe you're saying, all right, I'll go to that car dealership later. I don't have to buy it now. Okay. Are we on the same page, ladies and gentlemen? I just want to make sure when I'm using this analogy, I'm not just using something random. The market acts the same way we behave in real life. Okay. So now this is your used car dealership. But Over here, the dealer is trying to get you to spend a whole bunch of money over here. But look, why don't you just get this car? All right. I know it's not the one that you want, but just get this one right here. Now I don't want that car. Well, look, come back in a few months. Okay. So now you know that this is the area. This is the price point that you want to spend down here. Perfect. Good job. This is the price point. This is my budget. We've already got the breaker structure. Okay. Breaker structure meaning that you got that increase on your job. All right. Some more money, some brand new money just came into your life. You just hit a higher high of income in your life. Now you want to spend that money. You just hit a higher high of income in your life. Now you're ready to spend that money. Perfect. But guess what? You say, whoa, I don't want to spend all my money. So now what happens next, ladies and gentlemen? What we want to see is the market. This is what we call the inner trend. The inner trend. The outer trend, what it does, it creates the direction. Okay? Outer trend creates direction. Okay? Write that one down, ladies and gentlemen. Outer trend creates direction. Okay? So when I'm looking at the outer trend, what that means is the market is rising up. We just created a breaker structure. Well, the direction of the market is where? It's up. The inner trend is trapped inside of the outer trend impulse move higher. Okay? So we know the outer trend here, everything inside of the swing low and the swing high is considered the inner trend. Okay. That's also the area where you're going to start to see your pullbacks, retracements. All of that happens inside. Okay. You could call it pullback. Okay. Retracements. All of that stuff is inside. It's trapped between the swing low and the swing high, the lowest point and the highest point. So as this market starts to move back, the inner trend, we have a drop, then we have a pullback. Okay? A drop and then a pullback. What this market is doing inside is making lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. Okay? Now, it's not meaning that it's not a lower low that's telling me that it's a change of direction. No. The change of direction does not occur until the market breaks the highest point. The change of direction does not occur until the market breaks the highest point. Okay? All right? Perfect. All right. Last day, team. Get on time, please. Okay? Y'all got to be on time. Okay? So now, what do we see in here? We see a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Okay. This doesn't mean, oh, look for a sell, look for a sell, look for a sell. That doesn't mean that. All that means is that inside the market is pulling back to what? It's pulling back to the area of interest. It's pulling back to the area that you're most excited to buy at. That's all it means. That doesn't even mean that I'm buying right there. Okay? That's right. It's your point of interest. It doesn't even mean that this is a guaranteed area that I'm going to buy at. That just means that, hey, you ever had some instructions before? You know what instructions are. Instructions is a written manual on how things are supposed to be done. Instructions are a written manual on how things are supposed to be done based on previous back tests, previous studies, right? But what happens when market conditions change from those instructions? Okay? Instructions are rules. But when market conditions change from those instructions, ladies and gentlemen, we have to adapt. So even though we have the instructions on how to trade this market right here, we still have to be cautious. Okay? You still have to be cautious. So when I'm looking at this, I have a lower low. In order to create a lower low, we must do what? Create a break of structure. In order to create a lower low, we have to do what? Create a break of structure. B.O.S. Okay? We have to create a break of structure in order to create a lower low. Inner workings. These are the inner workings. This is what's happening inside of that pullback. All right. This is what's happening, when you're looking at how a car works, the engine. Well, all you do is press the gas. All you do is put gas. All you do is turn the steering wheel. But inside, to make the wheels move, to make the engine turn, okay? The inner workings, this is it right here. If none of this is happening, ladies and gentlemen, the market is not moving. Okay? Drop that 223 in the chat box if you make sense. If the inner workings is not happening, meaning that the market is creating lower lows and then change of direction, none of that is working. The market is just in consolidation. So now you got a decision to make. You say to yourself, okay, I have a $10,000 trading account. Okay. I have a $10,000 balance. There's your $10,000 balance right there. Just because I have a $10,000 balance, that doesn't mean I need to waste all of it at one shot. Okay? Think about this. For everyone that's on this call, we're going to manifest it. I manifest that you're going to make this year. I manifest this year that you're going to make the money that you desired, the money that you dreamed of. By the end of this year, you would have enough money to do everything that you desire. But imagine you want to buy that brand new house. You got $1 million sitting in your trading account, which you transferred over to your bank account. Okay. That house is, let's say that house is $500,000 that you want to buy. $500,000 that you want to buy. Or $1 million. Are you going to spend the whole $1 million on that house? That's all you got. Now you're living in a brand new custom built house with no furniture. Okay? Living in a brand new house with no furniture. You don't know when the next time you're going to get more money. So, ladies and gentlemen, okay? This is the reason why just because you got it don't mean you need to spend it all. So when that market comes down to the zone, this is you buying that brand new car. I can make this brand new car even if I bought it for less. With this $10,000 account balance, I'm going to enter my first trade at a 0.10. Okay, not bad. It's just a test. What I'm waiting for, as that market rises up, I need to see the inner change of direction. As that market rises higher, I see that inner change of direction right around this zone. At this point, now I have another area of interest. I have another area here that I'm most interested. So once the market comes back to that zone, guess what? I can add another trade. This is where the change of direction comes in at. First, you get the break of structure, and then you get the change of direction. You should not be entering any trades without that combo. Every trade should come with a two-piece combo of a break of structure and change of direction. Every single trade. You need that two-piece combination in order for this to work. If you're entering into a trade and you only see a break of structure, you're entering in too early. You are entering too early. You need that two-piece chicken basket combo. Okay? How many of you ever go to think about this? And before any of you say, ew, at one point in time in your life, you did eat fast food. But imagine going to one of your favorite childhood fast food restaurants, okay? And your parents said, "Hey, let me get a Happy Meal, a kid's Happy Meal." Well, we know what comes in that Happy Meal, okay? Inside of that Happy Meal, you're going to get your fries, your meat, and you're going to get a toy. But how many times when you went to this fast food restaurant and you only got your fries? Whoa, whoa. We already know the moment we get our food from the drive-through, what is the first thing we grab? We grab the fries. We take a bite out of that fry. And now you're looking into your box and you're saying, hold on, I'm missing something. Well, that's the same exact way you should be looking at your charts. Hold on, I'm missing something. What am I missing? Okay? What am I missing? I got my break of structure. How can I enter this buy right here with confidence? I got the break of structure. The market came down. But now that the market is back in this zone right here, I can't just enter the buy with confidence because I didn't get what? I did not get the change of direction. Does that make sense? Drop that 229 in the chat box, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Perfect. Let's go. Let's go over to the live chart. We need to figure out what we are missing. Before you enter into any trade, you got to figure out, do I have everything that I need? Is everything here? Okay. Is everything here? So when I open up my chart, I like to click on my B.O.S. Very important. I click on my B.O.S. Okay. And when clicking on that B.O.S, it helps me understand that, all right, we got to break a structure. Once I see that I got to break a structure, it also shows me right here, ladies and gentlemen, did we get a break of structure? Let's put a zone right here so you can see it. This is on gold on a 15-minute time frame. Okay, I'm not doing this in any particular order, time frame. It doesn't matter. It works. Okay, it doesn't matter what time frame you're on. All right. So we're looking at gold. Just want to put this back. Why is it not going? Oh, yeah, it is front. Okay. Oh, I know why. Because I didn't change the opacity. Yep, you're right, Shawnee. Good job. See, y'all be looking out for me. There we go. Change the opacity. Perfect. So now, yes or no, ladies and gentlemen, when we look at this, did we get a B.O.S, break of structure? That's why this lesson is very important. We got that break of structure. Okay. Click on the bulls button. This shows me my point of interest. This shows me, this area right here shows me where I'm most excited that the market is going to come back to. Okay. So now I'll draw the zone here on top of this box. The reason why I'm drawing it on top of this box, because when the market comes back to that level and I have to switch to the lower time frame, that zone might disappear. Okay. There we go. And I'll turn that off just like that. So we got the break of structure. Everything looks good. Perfect. B.O.S right around that zone. Remember, you're in the drive-through right now. You're super hungry. Good stuff. Now, I don't care what the market is doing here. As I move it over, I'm waiting for the market to retest that zone. Now, notice, you're going to see this a lot. As the market is coming down to your area, it's like a magnet. They stop for a moment. Boom. Okay. All right. And it gives me a little B.O.S in that zone. Okay. But I can't focus on this area just yet because it didn't touch my point of interest. Okay. I can't focus on it yet. Don't get too excited yet. Okay. You might see, oh man, it took off. I could have got in. Nope, not yet. Not yet. That's the trap. That's the trap. And finally, the market comes to your zone. Here we are. They come right to your level. Okay. Reject. I didn't even know I didn't have my thing in full screen. Okay. Now, finally, the market comes and reject off of that level. Now, I need to find the starting point that pushed me into this level. I need to find the starting point that pushed this candle into this level. Let's see if you guys can help me. Is that starting point that pushed me to the level, is it number one? Oops. Number one, which would be here, the starting point right up here. Is it number two? Ooh, this looks good. Number two. Oh man, that looks good right there. Is it number two? Is it number three that pushed me into the level? Oh man, number two looks real good. Which one is it? I need to find the starting point that pushed the market into this zone. Is it one, two, or three? Wow. So you guys didn't let me trick you this time. Good job. You're absolutely right. It's number three. So this is my 15-minute starting point right here. That's my 15-minute starting point, AKA change of direction zone. All right. Change of direction zone, but also my 15-minute, remember something else that we're building, 15-minute take profit. Okay. Perfect. So now got this level. That's my 15-minute zone. Is there another zone that's closer? Remember, we're trading gold. That means this market needs to rise up 100 pips before I can even think about entering into a trade. That market needs to rise up 100 pips before I can think about entering into a trade. Okay. This is just my 15-minute change of direction. If I was to stay here and say, oh man, I get nervous when I have to switch time frames. I get nervous. Okay. But don't worry. I got you. You get nervous when you got to switch time frame. This is why we mark these zones. Mark your zones. That's why we mark this level. That's why we put a vertical line here so you don't get lost. So you know where you are. So now I want to get as close as possible to my point of entry zone. I want to get close as possible to the zone. This is what I mean. Well, here I need this market to drop, change of direction. Then I got to find the buy candle in here somewhere. Or when I get lower, it could drop here, change of direction, enter here, and then rise the market all the way up. That's the whole point of going lower. Does that make sense? Okay. When I go lower, I'm finding the closest area, the last break of structure down in this range before the market went higher. Okay. I don't want to leave a whole bunch of money on that table. So now I drop down. I go down to my 5. Here we are. Remember the 15? Remember that 15-minute? It's right up here. See, that's why we marked this up. Look at my 5-minute. Angie, look at this. Look at what the 5-minute did. This is the last buy candle down here. Look at this, Angie. Game changer. This might be your breakthrough. So now what do we have? A break of structure, also known as a low, higher low, lower low, higher low, lower low, higher low, lower low. Okay, this is the inner workings. Lower low. That's right. In order to create a break of structure, we need to create lower lows. Lower lows. Then we have higher lows over here. That's right. Every time frame, we want to get as close as possible. But then you can also say, you know what? Oh man, I ain't going too low. I ain't going to that 1 minute. Sometimes you can get there, but remember, the lower the time frame. Oh, sorry about that. I keep messing that up. My bad. Thank you, Shawnee. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, team. Okay. I gotta keep doing this over and over so I don't get lost and confused sometimes. Okay. Lower high. Perfect. Thank you. Okay. So now, is this the last lower high before the market pushed into the zone? Is this the last lower high before the market pushed into the zone? That's right. Yes, it is. So now, because that's the last lower high before the market pushed into the zone, what if I'm comfortable? Remember, that was 100 pips over there. That was 100 pips over into this zone to get from here to here over 119 pips. Now let's look at this from here to here 55. You see how we cut that in half? Now we got to box it up. So we box it up, box that zone just like that. This is going to be my 5-minute change of direction zone. Okay. This is my 5-minute, also known as my 5-minute take profit. Okay. I didn't even look for my entry yet. All I'm building is my target zone. Okay. Are you okay with allowing gold to move 50 pips? I'm okay with that. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're enjoying this call right now, go ahead and smash that like button. Okay. Go ahead and smash that like button if you're enjoying this call right now. Let's see those numbers go up. Smash that like button. Let's go. Perfect. That's what I'm talking about. Sheesh. Let's go. That's right. Like button smash. Woo. All right. So now we see the last lower high. This is my starting point right here. Now, what I need this market to do is close above. All right. As we move this market forward, as we move the market, you notice we got a rejection right there. Didn't we speak about this yesterday? On yesterday's call, we spoke about when the market is about to reverse, they create this zone and they create this W formation. Notice we have a double bottom right here. Okay. Notice we have a double bottom right in the zone. The market did not go lower. We got a rejection, came back to the area, rejected again. We need to see that market close above before we can enter that trade. Okay. We need to see that market above before we could get into this trade, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's go. Boom. We got the close above. Got the close above. Let's go. Closed above the zone. Closed above the zone. Let's work. Once we got that close above, now it's time to work. Okay. You see this area here? Where's my last buy? My last buy candle is right there. Right there. Yes or no? Would you agree that this right here is my last buy candle before we closed above? You see that 5 minute right there? Perfect. So now here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this box here. That's my buyer zone. I'm going to move this out of the way. I don't need that bottom box anymore. I don't need that anymore. This is going to be my buyer zone. You see that? Now I got my entry. Okay. Now I got my entry, and I also have what? My 5 minute take profit number one, 15-minute take profit two. Look at this. I can enter here. I can say, you know what? I'm out at 60 pips. I'm out at 116 pips. We build our targets first before we get our entries. Now we know where target one, target two, and possibly three is going to be at. So when you look at these trades, you say entry here, stop loss below. Okay. Stop loss below. And to be honest, this is a starting point right here. This is a starting point. Stop loss needs to be right in this area. Are we right with our stop loss? Our stop loss is at the next starting point right below. Are we right on point with our stop loss right in that zone? So all of this is buyer opportunity. And now we shift that thing up. Look at that risk to reward. You know what? Let's move that box. Let's get into this market. Boom. Oh, they did snipe me. That part sucks. But look exactly what they did. Came through the zone. They threw out that wick right there. They knew that this was another starting point sitting right below. But look how they took off and smashed that market up. Ladies and gentlemen, certain things are beyond our control, but understand this. Okay? Understand what's happening right now. Look how close you are to getting to that breakthrough. Okay? Wow. Look at this. Based on a 5 minute time frame, is this the high that pushed the market into the zone? This is the high. You don't even have to mark this all up again. This is the high that pushed the market into the zone. In this area here on the 5-minute, rejection, and finally a breakthrough right there. Where's the starting point? Okay, where's the starting point? Wow. That market closed above. Nice entry off the level to shift that market up. Beautiful 60 pips of pure pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, if you get a breaker structure, you need to wait for your change of direction. Okay, that's right. Last red candle. You get a breaker structure, you need to wait for your change of direction. It's a combination. Okay, you need that combo. Without that combo, you don't have a trade. Okay, here we are on the dollar. I'm looking at the dollar. We know that our point of interest was right here. But even if I was to delete this was a beautiful setup, by the way, a beautiful setup. I want you guys to be proud of what you're doing. These setups, this is going to be amazing. Okay, I could have looked at something like this and said, okay, that's a breaker structure. The market went high, and this is my point of interest right here. This is going to be my point of interest right there. Now, I'm on a 15-minute time frame. This is how you can tell, hey, look, I can't keep holding a buy opportunity if the market is doing the opposite. So now, right here, is this the first candle that touched that zone? We see it. Whenever you know this is your point of interest, the area where you want to focus on the market coming back to. So if you know that's your area, draw your vertical line right there. I highlight this space before you start changing and looking at something else. The moment I hit that breaker structure button and I know an area where I want this market to come back to, I'm going to drop that vertical line when it comes back to that area. Because what am I looking for next? I'm looking for that internal structure. All right. Low, lower high, lower low. I know after I got the breaker structure, what comes after the breaker structure? After the breaker structure, what do we need? We need that change of direction. Did we get the change of direction after hitting this zone right here? If the answer is no, guess what? The market isn't done yet. If the answer is no, the market is not done yet. Okay? That's right. Good job. Good job. Perfect. That's what I want to see. So knowing that the market isn't done, don't be chasing those trades. Let it cook. The market dropped lower. So even though the market is dropping lower inside of these zones, I want you to see this. What do we build first? Targets. This is why we build targets first. So starting point, target right here. All right. Do we have another? And we're still inside of that zone, right? Drop. Here's a low, lower high. Did we drop lower? Yes. Okay. So what is this? A target. Perfect. All right. Low. Got a little double bottom right here. Didn't go lower. Pull back. And now we went lower in the zone. Lower in this zone. Look, we're out of the zone now. We're out of the zone. So now, because we're out of the zone, okay, out of the zone, and the market still didn't come down to my point of interest. Look at this. Once we closed above this area, okay, we closed above the zone now, not here, but over here. Back into the area. Consolidation, consolidation, small little shift up, Okay. And then they came down right back to that level right here. Okay. Right back to that zone. I'm on a 15-minute. Beautiful entry point right here. Look what we got here, ladies and gentlemen. This is why you should not be lost and confused. This is why you should not be lost and confused. You see, imagine if we didn't set our targets first. You would not have had any idea to why should I be buying in this area. So because you got into this zone right here for a possible buy, because this was my lower low, lower high, lower low, change of direction, and now we can start looking for buys. Where's my target? Target, target, and then look what the market did after that. Beautiful drop. Does that make sense? Understanding why you are in the market, understanding why you are exiting the market is very important. Set your targets first. But I don't want you to get into the market and say, oh, I'm going to set a take profit right here. Why? Why are you putting the take profit right there? Because it's the highest high. No, no, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that, ladies and gentlemen. You don't just come into the market and say, well, the market made a high and it made a low. Well, my take profit is going to be right here. What? Where they do that at? Why is my take profit going to be right there? Because that's the highest point. Just because it's the highest point doesn't mean that the market is going to go there. Okay. So your take profits should be identified like this: low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Every time the market breaks structure, every time the market breaks structure and create a lower low and a lower high, your lower high becomes your target. Okay. When they break structure, your lower high becomes your target. When the market breaks structure in a downtrend, your lower high becomes your target. Oops. So now, why am I not grabbing that? There we go. So now when that market rises up and it finds, okay, this is my area that I'm looking for. I know right now I just got a beautiful change of direction. Why my tool not working? 1 second. That's right. There we go. When they give me that change of direction, and then I find my starting point, whether it's right there, okay? I find that starting point that's right in that zone. Now I know, pull back into the area. I got a target here. I got a target here. I got a target here. If the market breaks those targets now becomes entries. Did you know that? Your targets become entries. Once the market, that's right. That's right. Good job. Good job. Okay. That's right. Good job. When you take liquidity, you got to create it for the take profit. Yes. Good job. Good job. So now when we look at this area, okay, when you look at this zone, now it becomes your entry point. Just because it's my entry point, that doesn't mean I enter blindly. Okay. That doesn't mean all I'm going to do is just start this whole process all over again. I know that this is my entry area, right? Yes or no? That's the entry. That's the area that I'm looking to get to enter again. Point of interest, right? So I'm just going to repeat that all over again. Y'all remember the magic fibs, right? Okay. So now when they come back to that zone, I'm just going to repeat it all over again. Boom, change of direction, retest, and trade. That's it. Okay. Wow. Good job, ladies and gentlemen. Good job. All right. So now that's going to do it for our day number 3. And today was the B.O.S. and change of direction. Now, tomorrow's call is going to be at 1 p.m. and Friday's call is going to be at 1 p.m. Okay. So tomorrow and Friday is at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. Now we're just trying to create a schedule because this is our first week, and I wanted to create this 5-day starting point course for us. So if you ever have to go back and rewatch it, now you have a better understanding of what you're watching and how to get started when it comes to trading. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank all of you. Number one, for your time, your patience, your dedication. I promise to give you nothing but 100% every time I log in. Every time I join these sessions, nothing but 100% of the information, the knowledge. So, what you're going to see now, every video at the end, if you ever want to go back, you can go back to the calendar. And once you go over to the calendar, you can click on the get link. Okay. So all of the videos will be right here. So the go live replay, the blueprint. All right. Don't worry about the date, August 2nd. This is just how I have to set it up until we're able to get the entire platform set up correctly. So you can just go in and it's going to have just click get link right here. And once you click on get link, what you're going to see is all of the blueprints right here. Okay. So day number 1, day number 2. At the end of this, the day number 3 video is going to be right in this area. Okay. Right on Lux Charts Official. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Now, all of these videos are unlisted. They're unlisted. So you can't just go to the YouTube and grab them. Okay. You can't just go to see right here, it's unlisted. So what's going to happen is you have to go through Lux Charts. You have to go through Lux Charts just to get it. Okay. All right. So thank you all for tuning in. We're definitely going to make trading fun and great again. Yo.